Welcome to the channel, and if this is your first time coming across this channel, please do hit to hit the subscribe button and don't forget to turn on the post notifications so you don't miss out on any educational video slash live section from us, this channel. And to our returning subscribers, thank you. So looking at today's topic, what can you say concerning this topic? Today's topic is this is the real way to mark order blocks. So basically what we'll be covering in this topic is first, we'll be looking at what problems traders have in marking their zones or marking their order blocks. What are some of those problems? Looking at the next slide, where we'll see some of the problems, and after that, take few examples, and after the examples, we'll also look at what solutions, how to mark order blocks properly to have what a high probability what setup. So let's go to the problems now. Okay, welcome back to the second slide. So in this slide, we'll be looking at what the problems some of the traders make while what marking their order blocks or trying to get the right zone to actually what place or pick their trades from. So first on the list is what ignoring what liquidity zones. The second problem is what misunderstanding market structure, and the third one is what you have some setups that what looks clean, but what it's a market trap. So we'll go into what a real life example or a chart example here. So we get to actually what see the mistakes traders make using these highlighted points listed here. Forward, we'll look at the solutions and how to mark those order blocks rightly. So let's go into live example here now. So here on this live chat, we'll be looking at some of those problems we've listed before on this chart and how traders make some of those mistakes which cause or make them towards lose their money to the financial market. So looking at this chart, let's get to mark this chart the way some traders will do that will cause them losses in the market. So looking at this particular setup, let's look at this setup here. So this was the last low we had here, having this last low at this point. This was what the last high we had at this point. So looking at this high, the market was pushed up, which gave us what a change of character at this point, followed by what a break of structure at this point, which tells you that what the market is what passing to the upside. The market is what bullish. Now looking at the structure of the market is already turning from what bearish at this point to what a bullish market. So what do you want to see? You want to see what continuation of this market was to the down part. Now look at what some of the traders out there will do, or the mistakes you personally are also making. What you go to do now is what you have a break of structure sitting here at this point. After having this break of structure at this point, liquidity was taken out what at this point. That what this high was now what later transferred to this point. So we now have a what new high sitting at this point. Now having this break of structure, the mistakes a lot of persons get to do is what after having this break of structure to the upside, the next thing they want to do is what marking what this order block here, because this was responsible for what the break of structure at this point to the upside. And now marking this point, this other block here, because a lot of persons feel what when you have a new high or a new low, immediate break of structure to the upside or to the downside, that is what they would put as what the other block. which what makes us to feel first problem of what liquidity at this point. Look at this point now. If I should take out that point, what do you see? You have what this candle wick sitting at this point. This candle wick sitting here already tells you that what that has a liquidity point. So what are you supposed to mark as the right order block? Here is your right order block. You want to take your setup from. This is the right order block you want to see. This is the right order block. Now, why is this the right order block? Looking at the setup, you see that what you have this liquidity sitting here. This liquidity sitting here is what validates that setup to be a what a high probability setup. And if you look at it closely, you see that what let's zoom this out to actually get a better view. If you look at this point, what do you see? You see that what the market what came into this zone, took out this liquidity, came back into this zone forward, moving to its desired direction. So number one is what a lot of traders what ignore liquidity zones, which makes them to what take trade from what low probability zones. Low probability zones. So number one, you have to identify liquidity zones. The next thing you have to look at is what your market structure. So if you look at the last option or the last on the list we gave as one of the problems, we said this setup might look clean, but what it's a trap. So looking at this same point, you see that what this setup also have this similar or have that issue we explained. Said what this setup looks clean, but it's a trap. So actually looking at this setup, this is a trap for what to take out what impatient traders that will actually rush into it, look at their trade or take their trade from this particular order block. Because a lot of traders seeing this as a break of structure, they want to take their trade from this point and what target maybe probably this high. But because they are not smart enough or they are not experienced enough or they don't know how to actually what trade other blocks, as I'll be going to what explaining in this course today, they will end up what taking in a liquidity trade and they will all be flushed out. You do hear a lot of persons say something like, my trade was in the right direction, but what I was taking out before the market moved my desired direction. Why were you taking it? It's because what you were trading from a liquidity setup, a liquidity zone. So please, next time you want to actually take your trade, follow the confirmations I will be given in the next part of this video. So let's go to the real aspect or the real way to actually what take other blocks to have a high probability setup. So let's go there now. So here we are. We want to actually what look at a valid way of what taking our other blocks to get the best results out of our trades. So first, what do you want to look at? We want to look at what the direction of the market. What was the market doing at that point, which is called what market structure. So you want to look at the structure of the market. Next thing you want to see is what we want to see imbalance on our trades. We want to see what imbalance on the candlestick formations. We also want to look at what presence of inducement or liquidity. Then lastly, you want to make sure that what there is a nice momentum. There is momentum at that zone. So take notes of the points because that is what we are going to be using in this episode to actually what get the best out of our other blocks. All right. So first, the market was heading to the downside at this point. We have our breaker structure here. We have what? There's a liquidity sweep at this point. After having the liquidity sweep, where was the last high before this push to the downside? That was our what? Last high. So at this point, what do you have? You have what? A change of character. Meaning what? Market is turning bullish from what a bearish. We are what if you look at the overall trend, we are heading to the downside. So we want to what catch a reversal at this point. So looking at this setup, this is what a bearish market, and at this point we had this change of character. So what do you want to see at this point? Seeing this sweep of liquidity and having what a change of character at this point, what do you want to see? You want to see price coming back into what our desired zone. So where is our desired zone? This is our order block. This is the order block here. So we have the order block sitting at this point. At this point, you see what we have our fair value gap. We have this fair value gap sitting here. So that's our fair value gap. Look at this candle. You see there's a fair value gap resting there. Looking to the upside, where is our liquidity? We have all of this as our what? Our liquidity. So we have what? A break of structure here. We have another break of structure sitting here. We have this final break of structure. But we can't take any of this other block because what we already know that what liquidity is resting below this point. So since we know that we've already looked at some of those problems, which tells you that what when you have a liquidity, that other block shouldn't be before a liquidity zone. The liquidity should come before our other block. So with that idea, we already know that this other block or this zone, we can't trade from this zone because of what this is a liquidity zone. So what are we expecting? We want to see the price come back into this zone. So this is what we want to see at this point. So looking at the price action, you see the price was continued to the downside, taking out what this previous low. The market went down, took out another low at this point before what coming back into our desired zone. So one thing is what having patience when you see your A plus setup because a lot of times it will actually take out or take a long while to actually what play out. But what since you already understand market structure, you already understand how to actually pick your order block. All it takes is just time, and your right setup will come to you. So, looking at this now, what do you see? You see that what this actually took a while, but after that, the market came back into this zone. And what did you see? You see what a nice move to the upside. Nice move to the upside. So, next time you're picking your order block, please do well to check out for the criteria listed in this video. Do well to make sure that what it meets their trading criteria I've just listed in this video. So what? Do it to also share and don't forget to what? Leave a comment below. And if you have any question, please do it to what? Leave them in the comment section. Don't forget to what? Hit the subscribe button, share, and turn on the post notification. And above all, we go live here every Monday, 7 a.m. So please do it to what? Join us every Monday for market outlooks. And what? Don't forget to join our free Telegram community. In the comment, check the pin post below this video. You will see the what? The free Telegram channel below. We share what free setup, free market updates, our videos and everything is being shared in that community first. So what join so you don't miss out on any update. See you in the next one. Bye.